Namaste and Jai Shri Krishna. Today we would be narrating the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna as compiled in the book Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, also known as Krishnabook.
Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to encourage more videos like this.
Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chapter 1, The Advent of Lord Krishna. Once the world was overburdened by different kings who were actually demons. At that time, the whole world became perturbed, and the predominating deity of this earth, known as Bhumi Devi, went to see Lord Brahma to tell of her calamities due to the demoniac kings. Bhumi Devi assumed the shape of a cow and presented herself before Lord Brahma with tears in her eyes. She related the catastrophic position of the earth, and after hearing this, Lord Brahma became much aggrieved, and he at once started for the ocean of milk, where Lord Vishnu resides. Lord Brahma was accompanied by all the devas, headed by Lord Shiva and Bhumi Devi. Arriving on the shore of the milk ocean, Lord Brahma began to pacify Lord Vishnu, who had formerly saved the earthly planet by assuming the transcendental form of a boar, Valaha. Because he is lying on the ocean of milk, he is called Vishnu. He is the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through whom all the incarnations within this universe appear. After all the devas offered the Purusha Sukta prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they apparently heard no response. Then Lord Brahma personally sat in meditation, and there was a message transmission from Lord Vishnu to Brahma. Brahma then broadcast the message to the devas. That is the system of receiving Vedic knowledge. The Vedic knowledge is received first by Brahma from the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of the heart. Only Brahma could understand the message transmitted by Lord Vishnu, and he broadcast it to the devas for their immediate action. The message was this: the Supreme Personality of Godhead would appear on the earth very soon along with his supreme powerful potencies, and as long as he remained on the earth planet to execute his mission of annihilating the demons and establishing the devotees, the devas should also remain there to assist him. They should all immediately take birth in the family of the Yadu dynasty, wherein the Lord would also appear in due course of time. The Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, Krishna, would personally appear as the son of Vasudeva. Before his appearance, all the devas along with their wives should appear in different pious families in the world just to assist the Lord in executing his mission. The devas were further informed that Anant, the plenary portion of Lord Krishna, who is maintaining the universal planets by extending his millions of hoods, would also appear on earth before Lord Krishna's appearance. They were also informed that the external potency of Vishnu, Maya, with whom all the conditioned souls are enamored, would also appear by the order of the Supreme Lord. After instructing and pacifying all the devas as well as Bhumi Devi, Lord Brahma, the father of all Prajapatis or progenitors of the universal population, departed for his own abode, the highest material planet called Brahmalok. Once upon a time, Vasudeva, the son of Shurasen of the Yadu dynasty, just after marrying Devaki, was going home on his chariot with his newly wedded wife. The father of Devaki, known as Devak, had contributed a sufficient dowry. He had contributed hundreds of chariots completely decorated with gold equipment. At that time, Kans, the son of Ugrasen, in order to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins of the horses of Vasudeva's chariot and was driving. The full dowry contributed by Devak included elephants, horses, and chariots. The bride and bridegroom were passing along on the chariot. The procession was passing very pleasingly, and Kans was driving the chariot when suddenly a miraculous sound vibrated from the sky, which especially announced to Kans, "Kans, you are such a fool. You are driving the chariot of your sister and your brother-in-law, but you do not know that the 8th child of this sister will kill you." Kans was the son of Ugrasen of the Bhoj dynasty. It is said that Kans was the most demoniac of all the Bhoj dynasty kings. Immediately after hearing the prophecy from the sky, he caught hold of Devaki's hair and was just about to kill her with his sword. Vasudeva was astonished at Kansa's behavior, and in order to pacify the cruel, shameless brother-in-law, he began to speak as follows with great reason and evidence. He said, "My dear brother-in-law Kans, you are the most famous king of the Bhoja dynasty. and people know that you are the greatest warrior and a valiant king. How is it that you are infuriated that you are prepared to kill a woman who is your own sister at this auspicious time of her marriage? Why should you be so much afraid of death? Death is already born along with your birth. From the very day you took your birth, you began to die. Vasudeva thus requested Kans not to be envious of his newly married sister. One should not be envious of anyone. Vasudeva appealed to Kans on behalf of Devaki, stating that she was his younger sister. A younger sister or brother is supposed to be protected as one's child. The position is overall so delicate, Vasudeva reasoned, that if you kill her, it will go against your high reputation. Failing in his attempt to pacify Kans, Vasudeva wondered how he would protect his wife Devaki. Vasudeva thought of his wife as follows: "For the present, let me save the life of Devaki, and then later on, if they are children, I shall see how to save them." He further thought, if in the future I get a child who can kill Kans, just as Kans is thinking, then both Devaki and the child will be saved because the law of providence is inconceivable. But now, some way or other, let me save the life of Devaki. Vasudeva said to Kans, "My dear brother-in-law, please consider that you have no danger from your sister. You are awaiting some danger because you have heard a prophetic voice in the sky. But the danger is to come from the sons of your sister, who are not present now, and who knows, they may or may not be sons in the future. Considering all this, you are safe for the present. Nor is there cause of fear from your sister. If there are any sons born of her, I promise that I shall present all of them to you for necessary action." Kans knew the value of Vasudeva's word of honor, and he was convinced by his argument. For the time being, he desisted from the heinous killing of his sister. Thus Vasudeva was pleased and praised the decision of Kans. In this way he returned to his home. Each year thereafter, in due course of time, Devaki gave birth to a child. When the first son was born, Vasudeva kept his word of honor and immediately brought the child before Kans. It is said that Vasudeva was famous for his word of honor. Although it was very painful for Vasudeva to hand over the newly born child, Kans was very glad to receive him. Kans became satisfied by the action of Vasudeva. He was surprised to see Vasudeva keeping his promise, and being compassionate upon him and pleased, he began to speak as follows: "My dear Vasudeva, you need not present this child to me. I am not in danger from this child. I have heard that the 8th child born of you and Devaki will kill me. Why should I accept this child unnecessarily? You can take him back." When Vasudeva was returning home with his firstborn child, although he was pleased by the behavior of Kans, he could not believe in him because he knew that Kans was uncontrolled. At that time, the great sage Narad came to Kans. He was informed of Kans's becoming compassionate to Vasudeva and returning his firstborn child. Narad was very eager to accelerate the descent of Lord Krishna as soon as possible. He therefore informed Kans that in Vrindavan, personalities like Nanda Maharaj and all the other cowherd men and their wives, and on the other side Vasudeva, his father Shurasen, and all his relatives born in the family of Vrishni of the Yadu dynasty, along with all their friends and well-wishers, were actually Devas. Narad warned Kans to be careful of them, since Kans and his friends and advisors were all demons. Demons are always afraid of Devas. After being informed by Narad about the appearance of the Devas in different families, Kans at once became very much alarmed. He understood that since the Devas had already appeared, Lord Vishnu must be coming soon. He at once arrested both his brother-in-law Vasudeva and Devaki and put them behind prison bars. Within the prison, shackled in iron chains, Vasudeva and Devaki gave birth to a male child year after year, and Kans, thinking each of the babies to be the incarnation of Vishnu, killed them one after another. He was particularly afraid of the 8th child, but after the visit of Narad, he came to the conclusion that any child might be Krishna. Therefore, it was better to kill all the babies who took birth from Devaki and Vasudeva. Kans was made aware of his previous birth by the grace of Narad. He learned that in his previous birth he had been a demon of the name Kalnemi, and that he had been killed by Vishnu. Having now taken his birth in the Bhoj family, he decided to become the deadly enemy of the Yadu dynasty. Krishna was going to take birth in that family, and Kans was very much afraid that he would be killed by Krishna just as he had been killed in his last birth. Kans first of all imprisoned his father Ugrasen because he was the chief king among the Yadu, Bhoj and Andak dynasties. And he also occupied the kingdom of Shurasen, Vasudev's father. He declared himself the king of all such places. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first chapter of Krishna, the advent of Lord Krishna.
Haribol.